The door to the sauna creaked open like a gunshot in the humid silence. And there he was, Justin, all 6 feet of him, towel slung low on his hips, steam curling around his broad shoulders like cigarette smoke in a noir film. I froze, my heart slamming against my ribs, because Ryan's dad wasn't supposed to be home yet, and definitely not walking in on me like this, naked and exposed in the one place I'd thought was safe to let my guard down. Alex. His voice was gravel and whiskey, low and surprised, but his eyes, God, those blue eyes, locked onto mine with an intensity that stripped me bare all over again, saying things words never could. I come to Ryan's place in Evanston, just north of Chicago, for what was supposed to be a low-key weekend escape from my shitty dorm life at Northwestern. Ryan and I had been roommates freshman year, bonded over late-night beers and bitching about organic chem, the kind of friendship that felt unbreakable. He was the golden boy blonde, athletic, always dragging me to pick up basketball games where I'd fake enthusiasm while stealing glances at the guys changing in the locker room. Ryan never knew, or if he did, he buried it under bro-code bullshit. His family home was this sprawling colonial on a tree-lined street, the kind of American dream setup with a backyard that backed onto Lake Michigan's chilly waves. But that Friday night, Ryan had bailed last minute for a frat party in the city, leaving me with the keys and a vague, make yourself at home. Dude, home. Yeah, right. I'd wandered the house like a ghost, poking through the kitchen where faded photos showed a younger Justin with his arm around a woman who must have been Ryan's mom. Divorced 5 years now, Ryan said, some messy affair that left scars nobody talked about. Upstairs, Ryan's room was a shrine to his glory days. Trophies, posters of the Cubs, a shelf of dog-eared Vonnegut novels. Mine felt foreign, the guest room with its crisp linens smelling of lavender detergent. By midnight, the house was too quiet, the kind that amplifies your own breathing, so I'd slipped downstairs to the basement sauna, the one luxury Justin had installed after the divorce, his therapy for the rage he channeled into CrossFit and craft IPAs. I stripped down, the cedar planks warm under my feet, and poured water on the rocks, hissing steam filling the air like a confession I couldn't voice. That's when the door opened. Justin stepped in, oblivious at first, rubbing a towel over his damp hair from what must have been a run along the lake path. He was in his mid-40s, but built like he could bench press regret. Wide chest dusted with dark hair going gray at the edges, thighs thick from years of pounding pavement. His face was all sharp angles, high cheekbones, a jaw that could have cut glass, and those eyes, the color of Lake Michigan on a stormy day. He stopped dead when he saw me, towel dropping an inch before he caught it. Shit. Alex. Right? Ryan's buddy. He didn't bolt, though. Just stood there, steam beating on his skin, a faint smile tugging at his lips like he'd caught me with my hand in the cookie jar. Didn't know anyone was crashing here tonight. I scrambled to cover myself, but the towel was across the bench, and suddenly the air felt too thick, too hot. Yeah, Ryan said it was cool. He's out. My voice cracked like a teenager's, and I hated it. 22 years old, and one look from my best friend's dad had me feeling like I was 16 again, sneaking peeks at the lifeguards on North Avenue Beach. Justin chuckled, low and easy, dropping onto the bench opposite me. The sauna was small, intimate, maybe 6 feet square, so our knees almost brushed. He leaned back, head against the wall, eyes half-lidded. Kids always flaking. Good thing you're here to keep the place from feeling like a tomb. He stretched, muscles rippling under tan skin, and I swear the steam thickened just to torture me. We sat in that haze for what felt like hours but was probably minutes, the silence broken only by the drip of sweat and the distant hum of the lake wind against the house. "You ever feel like you're just going through the motions?" he said suddenly, eyes opening to pin me in place. It wasn't casual. It was raw, like he'd been holding it in for years. Work, gym, pretending everything's fine. Ryan's off at college. My ex is shacked up with some Wall Street prick in New York. And me? I'm just the guy who fixed the sauna so I could sweat out the bullshit. I swallowed hard, my throat dry despite the humidity. Yeah. All the time. It was more than yeah. I felt it bone deep. The lie of my straight-passing life. The apps I deleted every morning. The crushes on guys like Ryan that I buried under sarcasm. But saying that to Justin? It would have been suicide. He nodded, like he heard the unsaid parts. "You're a good kid, Alex. Ryan talks about you nonstop. Says you're the smart one, the one who sees through the crap." His gaze lingered, tracing my collarbone. My thigh accidental? No, deliberate. Heat bloomed in my chest, unrelated to the sauna. When he stood to add more water to the rocks, his towel slipped, just a fraction, enough to glimpse the V of his hips, and I bit my lip so hard I tasted copper. That night blurred after we emerged, red-faced and laughing it off over beers in the kitchen. Justin in sweatpants and a faded Blackhawks tee. Me in boxers and a borrowed hoodie that smelled like him. Pine soap and something earthier, like rain on asphalt. We talked until the sky lightened. About his job as a structural engineer, bridging Chicago's skyline. My half-assed psych major and dreams of grad school in California. The Bears' latest collapse. Ryan texted at dawn. Stayed at Mike's. Hungover AF. "You good?" I replied, "All good." "Your dad's a legend," and deleted the winking emoji before sending. But nothing was good. Not when Justin clapped my shoulder goodbye, his hand lingering a beat too long, thumb brushing my neck. Not when I lay in the guest bed, replaying the steam, the slip of towel, the way his voice wrapped around my name like a promise. Ryan came home that afternoon, all apologies and bro hugs, oblivious as we grilled burgers on the deck. But every time Justin passed me the ketchup, our fingers grazed, and I wondered if hell was just this, wanting what you couldn't have, in the heart of the heartland. The weekend stretched into a haze of lake walks and bonfires, Ryan nursing his hangover while I stole moments with Justin. A shared glance over coffee, his laugh at my dumb joke about Freud. By Sunday night, as Ryan crashed early for Monday classes, Justin cornered me in the hallway. "Stay for dinner sometime." Without the kid. His breath was warm against my ear, and I nodded, speechless, as he walked away. That was the hook. The line sank deep that week, when Ryan invited me back for the Bulls game, tickets from Justin, who happened to have an extra. The arena thrummed with Chicago energy. Popcorn grease, beer foam, the squeak of sneakers on hardwood. We cheered from nosebleeds, Ryan yelling obscenities at the refs. But my eyes kept drifting to the luxury box where Justin waved down, beer in hand, looking every inch the All-American dad. After, in the parking garage under the United Center, rain slicking the concrete, Justin pulled up in his black Ford F-150. "Hop in, boys. Traffic's a bitch." Ryan shotgun, me in the back. But halfway home, Ryan's phone buzzed. A girl from the party. "Come over?" He grinned, all teeth. "Drop me at the L. Alex." "You crash again." I mumbled yes, and suddenly it was just us. Justin's truck rumbling through the wet streets, wipers slashing rhythm, classic rock low on the radio. He glanced in the rearview. "You okay back there, kid?" "Not a kid," I shot back, bolder than I felt. The rain mirrored the storm in my gut. He smirked. "Fair enough." At a red light on Michigan Avenue, skyscrapers blurring neon, he twisted around. "Listen, about the other night." "Don't." My voice was sharp, panicked. "Ryan." "Fuck Ryan for a second." Justin's eyes burned. "That wasn't nothing in the sauna. Alex. Tell me I'm wrong." The light turned green. I didn't answer. But when he pulled into the driveway, engine ticking cool, he didn't move. "Come inside. Just talk." I followed him through the rain, dripping on the foyer rug, heart pounding like the thunder rolling off the lake. The house was dark, Ryan's absence a ghost. Justin flicked on the kitchen light, grabbed 2 IPAs from the fridge local, from Half Acre, bitter and hoppy like the truth. We leaned against the island, bottles clinking. "Your trouble," he said finally, setting his down. His hand found my jaw, thumb tracing my lip, and the world narrowed to that touch, rough, calloused from blueprints and barbells, but gentle, like he was afraid I'd shatter. I leaned in first, or maybe he did. It didn't matter. His mouth was hot, tasting of malt and salt, mustache scraping my skin in a way that made me gasp. We kissed like men drowning, hands fisting shirts, bodies crashing together against the cabinets. His growl vibrated through me as he lifted me onto the counter, towels forgotten, inhibitions burned away in that imagined steam. It was reckless, raw, his hands mapping my body like a new bridge design, precise and hungry. I arched into him, whispering his name like a prayer, the forbidden weight of it making every thrust electric. Afterward, sprawled on the cool tile, his arm heavy across my chest, he murmured, "This can't happen again." But we both knew it was a lie. The affair ignited like one of those Lake Michigan summer storms. Fierce, all-consuming, gone in a flash only to rumble back harder. Tuesdays became our ritual. Ryan at his TA gig for econ, the house empty save for the hum of the AC and the creak of floorboards under our feet. Justin would text from work, bridge meeting running late. Doors unlocked. And I'd slip in like a shadow, heart racing past the family photos that mocked us. Justin and Ryan at Wrigley, grinning under ivy-covered walls. A toddler Ryan on his dad's shoulders, innocent as the day. Our first real time wasn't the kitchen fumble. That was desperation. No, the Tuesdays built slow, savoring the sin. He'd find me in the living room, pulling me onto the leather couch that still smelled of his cologne, undressing me layer by layer like unwrapping a gift he didn't deserve but craved. "You're killing me, Alex," he'd groan, lips trailing my sternum, teeth nipping just enough to bruise. I'd laugh, breathless, tangling fingers in his hair, thicker than Ryan's, threaded with silver that made him look like a lion in winter. Sex with Justin was a revelation. Urgent, yes, but laced with something deeper. His body telling stories his words couldn't. Scars on his ribs from a construction site fall. The way he'd pause, I searching mine, like he needed permission to feel this good. We'd talk after, tangled in sheets upstairs in his room, the master suite with its king bed and view of the moonlit lake. He'd open up about the divorce, how he'd come home early one day to find his wife with her yoga instructor, the betrayal gutting him like a rusted beam. I thought I was the good guy, provider, Father. But love's not blueprints. It shifts. His voice would roughen, hand tightening on my hip. I'd share my own ghosts. The conservative parents in Indiana who shipped me off to Northwestern hoping distance would straighten me out. The one boyfriend in high school who ghosted after his dad found our texts. I'm tired of hiding, I'd say, and Justin would pull me closer, murmuring, then don't. Not here, but hiding was all we had. Ryan was the sun around which we orbited, his oblivious energy filling the house on weekends. We'd play it cool, me and Ryan gaming in the basement, Justin grilling in the yard, shouting plays like nothing had changed. But everything had. I'd catch Justin's gaze across the picnic table, a flicker of heat that made my pulse stutter, or he'd brush past me in the hallway, whispering, "Missed you," so low only I heard. Ryan noticed nothing, too wrapped in his own drama. A girl named Taylor he was kinda seeing. Exams looming like storm clouds. Fall deepened, leaves turning the suburbs crimson and gold, the air crisp with bonfire smoke. One night, after a Northwestern game, Wildcats stomping the Badgers, Ryan threw a rager in the basement. The house pulsed with bass from the speakers, red Solo cups littering every surface, bodies grinding in the dim light. I nursed a beer in the corner, watching Justin play host upstairs, charming the neighbors, pouring shots with that easy grin. Our eyes met across the chaos, and he mouthed, "Sauna?" My stomach flipped. The basement sauna, forgotten amid the party roar. I slipped away around midnight, the steam already thick when I entered, stripping down to nothing but anticipation. Minutes ticked by, 5, 10, then the door side open. Justin, still in his flannel and jeans, eyes wild. "Couldn't wait," he said, crossing the space in 2 strides, backing me against the wall. The heat amplified everything. His stubble rasping my neck, hands rough on my thighs as he dropped to his knees. It was filthy, fervent. His mouth claiming me like a territory he'd mapped in dreams, my fingers digging into cedar as I came undone, biting back moans that could have echoed upstairs. We emerged flushed, him adjusting his belt, me towel-dried and guilty. The party's tail end, Ryan sprawled on the couch, crossfade and snoring. Justin clapped my back, brotherly, for show, and murmured, "You're mine now." I believed him, in that hazy afterglow, as we cleaned up Dawn's wreckage together, Ryan none the wiser. But cracks formed, spiderwebbing under the surface. Ryan started asking questions. "You and Dad seem tight lately." "What's up?" I'd shrug. "Just bonding over your shitty taste in music." But his eyes narrowed, that intuitive spark flaring. Justin pulled back too, texts sparse. Tuesdays canceled for deadlines. I filled the void with runs along the lakefront, pounding pavement until my lungs burned, wondering if I'd imagined it all. Then, late October, a voicemail. His voice strained. "Alex, we need to talk. Meet me at the pier. 10 p.m. The Navy Pier was a ghost town that night, wind whipping off the black water, the Ferris wheel's lights flickering like dying stars. Justin waited at the end, hands shoved in his coat pockets, face gaunt under the sodium lamps. "I'm sorry," he started, before I could speak. "This it's fucked. Ryan's my blood. You're his world." The words landed like punches. "So that's it? You fuck me and freak." Anger surged, hot and righteous. I stepped closer, the lake's chill biting through my jacket. He grabbed my arms, pulling me against him, desperate, not gentle. "I love it," You. But I can't destroy him. His kiss was bruising, all teeth and salt from unshed tears, and I kissed back, hating him, needing him. We stumbled into the shadows behind a shuttered booth, wind howling our soundtrack, hands frantic under layers. It was quick, against the pier's railing raw, reclaiming, ending with him slumped against me, whispering, "Forgive me, I did, or tried." We resumed, sneakier, quickies in his truck after Ryan's practices, stolen weekends when Ryan visited Taylor in the city. But the guilt festered. Ryan confided one night over pizza. "Dad's been weird. Distant. Think he's seeing someone." My slice turned to ash in my mouth. "Nah. Probably work stress." Thanksgiving loomed, a minefield of turkey and tension. Justin's sister flew in from Seattle. The house bloated with relatives, cousins arguing politics, aunts cooing over pie. I tagged along as Ryan's +1, the outsider in a sea of family lore. Under the table, Justin's foot nudged mine. Accidental? A dare. Later, in the garage amid boxes of holiday lights, he pinned me against the workbench, silent and savage, muffling my gasps with his palm. "Can't stop," he breathed, zipping up as voices called from the kitchen. That night, stuffed and tipsy, Ryan crashed on the sectional with me. His head lolled on my shoulder, breath even, and guilt twisted like a knife. He was beautiful, soft in sleep, vulnerable, and I hated how I tainted this, how loving his father made me the villain in our story. Winter gripped Chicago like a fist, snow blanketing the suburbs, salt crunching under tires, the lake frozen into jagged plates. Our affair went underground, texts encrypted, meets at motels off I-94, seedy places with neon vacancy signs and thin walls. Justin booked under aliases, John Doe, like a bad spy novel. There, away from the house's ghosts, we could pretend. He'd trace my tattoos, a small compass on my rib, inked after coming out to my mom with reverent fingers. "Where's it pointing you?" he'd ask. "You," I'd say, and we'd lose ourselves. Slow this time, exploratory. Him inside me on threadbare sheets, eyes locked, breath sinking like waves. Afterward, chain smoking on the balcony overlooking truck stops, he'd talk dreams, quitting engineering for carpentry, building tiny homes in the Rockies. Start over. You and me. The fantasy warmed me more than the space heater's rattle. But reality intruded. Ryan aced his midterms, celebrated with a bar crawl on Division Street, dive bars sticky with spilled high life, shots of Malort that tasted like regret. I drank too much, sloppy, and when Ryan draped an arm around me, slurring, "Love you, man. Best friend ever," I nearly broke. Pushed him off gently, bolted to the bathroom, puked up the lies. Justin picked me up at 2 a.m. Ryan passed out in an Uber home. In the truck, silent drive, he said, "We gotta end this, again." I laughed, bitter. "You say that every time. This time's different." His jaw clenched. "Found something." In my email, Ryan's been snooping. My blood iced. "What?" "Not us. But close. He's suspicious. Of me. We didn't fuck that night. Just held each other in the cab. Engine idling in an empty lot. Snow falling like confetti on a funeral. I left before dawn. The compass tattoo itching like a warning. Spring teased Chicago with false promises. Mud season. when snowmelt turned lawns to slop and the air hung heavy with thaw. Ryan's suspicion simmered, manifesting in little barbs. Dad's been extra broody. You notice, I deflect with jokes. But inside, panic clawed. Justin and I adapted. Meets slashed to once a week. Always out of town. A cabin rental in Wisconsin Dells, where we'd hike bluffs and fuck in the loft, pretending we were nomads without ties. But ties bound us tighter. Ryan's upcoming birthday, a big 23 bash at the house, loomed like Judgment Day. The party was peak American excess. Kegs on the deck. A bouncy house for irony, Ryan's idea. Playlist blasting Springsteen and Kendrick. I arrived early, helping Justin string lights, our hands brushing over extension cords, electric, dangerous. Be careful tonight, he murmured, voice low under the hum of the fridge. Ryan burst in then, all energy, clapping us both on the back. My two favorite dudes, this is gonna be epic, epic. It started that way, neighbors in lawn chairs, Ryan shotgunning beers, Taylor hanging off his arm in a sundress that screamed sorority. I played wingman, charming her friends, but my eyes tracked Justin, tending the grill in cargo shorts and a tee stretched across his chest, sweat beading from the heat. He caught me staring, winked once, and my knees went liquid. By dusk, the party's pulse quickened, bodies dancing on the grass, fire pit crackling, stars pricking the purple sky. Ryan pulled me aside near the sauna. Irony's cruel joke. Beer in hand, face flushed. Dude, thanks for everything. You're like family. He hugged me, awkward and tight, and I stiffened, the scent of his cologne same as Justin's, choking me. Family, I echoed, forcing a grin. He wandered off to Taylor, and I slipped inside for air, the cedar door sealing me in steam and memory. That's when it happened. The door flew open, not Justin, but Ryan, wild-eyed, phone in hand. Alex, you gotta see this. My stomach dropped. He thrust the screen at me. Screenshots, texts from Justin's phone. Miss your mouth. Tuesday, my words. Deleted but recovered somehow. Ryan's face crumpled, confusion twisting to horror. What the fuck? This is you? And my dad. Time fractured. I stammered denials, but the evidence glared, timestamps matching our Tuesdays, emojis I'd sent in haste. Ryan, it's not. You lying sack of shit. He lunged, fist connecting with my jaw in a burst of pain, copper flooding my mouth. I reeled back, tasting blood, the sauna's heat mocking our implosion. My best friend. Fucking my father? How long? Alex, how long? The door banged open wider. Voices from the party filtered in. Justin appeared like a specter, apron askew, face draining of color. Ryan? What's? You knew he'd find out. Ryan roared, shoving past me to square off with his dad. Father and son, inches apart, mirrors in build but worlds in pain. Justin's hands rose, placating. Son, listen. Don't son me. You're a goddamn predator. Ryan's voice broke, tears streaking his cheeks. The betrayal landed like shrapnel, me. The Judas. Justin. The patriarch cracked. Partygoers hovered outside, whispers rising like smoke. I bolted then, past staring faces, grabbing my keys from the kitchen counter. Rain started, fat drops splattering the driveway as I peeled out, tires hydroplaning on the slick street. The lake blurred beside me, black and endless, mirroring the void in my chest. I drove aimless, north to the dunes, where wind howled through preserved grasses, erasing footprints like sins. Hours later, my phone exploded. Ryan's voicemails, furious then fractured. How could you? I trusted you. Justin's texts. Come back. We fixed this. I powered off. Crashed at a motel in Michigan City, the room smelling of mildew and despair. Sleep came in fits. Dreams of saunas turning to infernos. Ryan's punch echoing like thunder. Morning brought hangover haze and resolve. I couldn't run forever. Chicago was home. Ryan my anchor. Back by noon, the house looked hungover too. Streamers limp. Solo cups scattered like casualties. Ryan answered the door. Black eye blooming from last night's scuffle with me? Or a wall? His gaze was steel. Get out. Please. Talk to me. I stepped inside anyway, the foyer feeling like a courtroom. He led me to the kitchen, where Justin sat at the island, head in hands, defeated, the lion caged. Ryan paced, words tumbling. I hacked Dad's iCloud. Needed his login for tickets. Saw everything. The motels, the texts, Jesus, the sauna that first night. He laughed. Hollow. I thought you were my brother, Alex. And you preyed on him. On us. It wasn't like that. My voice cracked. It started accidental. Then, it was real. I looked at Justin, pleading. He met my eyes, silent apology in his slump. Real. Ryan spat. You're both liars. Get your shit and go. Both of you. The ultimatum hung. Justin stood, slow. Ryan, I'm sorry. More than you know. But I love him. The words detonated love, not lust. Ryan recoiled like slapped. I froze, the L word a lifeline and noose. Love? You're my father. Ryan's shout echoed, raw as exposed rebar. He stormed out, slamming the deck door, leaving us in wreckage. Justin crossed to me, cupping my bruised jaw. He'll come around, but his eyes said doubt. We clung there, kitchen light harsh on our flaws, until tires crunched. Ryan's car, fleeing to Taylor's. The fallout cascaded. Ryan ghosted us both. Blocked numbers, skipped classes to couchsurf with friends. Justin dove into work, blueprints blurring as he rebuilt bridges while his family crumbled. Me, I holed up in the dorm, psych notes unread, running miles along Sheridan Road until blisters formed. Friends noticed. You look like shit, man. But I stonewalled, the secret festering. Weeks blurred into May, lilacs blooming defiant. A tentative text from Ryan. Coffee? Neutral ground. We met at a Starbucks on Clark Street, hipsters clacking laptops around us. He looked wrecked, thinner, shadows under his eyes. I hate you, he started, stirring his latte viciously. But I miss my friend. And Dad's a mess. Falling apart. Guilt knifed me. I never meant to hurt you. Bullshit, but softer. We talked, halting, honest. His pain. Betrayal's double edge. Losing father and friend in one blow. My confession, the hiding, the hunger for Justin that overrode reason. It wasn't about you. It was us, broken before I showed up. He nodded. Eventual. Therapy. Dad's going. I might. The olive branch. Fragile. Reconciliation with Justin was stormier. He showed up at my dorm one night, rain-soaked, ice-haunted. Can't do this without you. We fought in the hallway, whispers to avoid the RA. Him accusing me of weakness, me hurling his hypocrisy. It ended in my room, door locked, bodies colliding in cathartic fury, bites and scratches, tears mingling with sweat. I love you, he gasped again, post-climax collapse. This time, I said it back, the words a dam breaking. Summer sweltered in, internships pulling us apart. Me at a crisis hotline downtown, Justin on a site in Gary. Ryan thawed slow, group hangs, stilted but present, Taylor as buffer. One night, bonfire redux, he pulled Justin aside, words lost to crackle. Later, he hugged me fierce. Not okay yet, but trying. The climax brewed that July 4th, city fireworks exploding over the lake like artillery. We gathered, awkward trio, at the house, grills smoking, beers chilling. Tension hummed, unspoken. As bottle rockets whistled, Ryan cracked, I saw you too. That night in the garage, Thanksgiving. Knew something was off. Justin paled. I braced. Why didn't you say? Justin asked, voice wrecked. Fear. Ryan's admission hung. Of losing you both. Tears fell. Fireworks booming punctuation. We embraced then, messy, Midwestern, arms overlapping in a knot of forgiveness and fracture. Not healed, but mending. Autumn returned, leaves carpeting Evanston in fire, the air crisp with pencil shavings and promise. Ryan's therapy stuck, group sessions for families fractured by secrets, where we'd sit in a circle of folding chairs, voices halting under fluorescent buzz. Justin went weekly, unpacking the divorce's debris. Ryan confronted his internalized homophobia, forged in locker room jabs and a dad's hidden heart. Me, I joined, the outsider turned insider, my compass tattoo a talisman as I voiced the shame of loving across lines. Our trio evolved, tentative movie nights with bad sci-fi, where Ryan heckled aliens while Justin and I shared loaded glances. No more sneaking, Justin and I went public, slow. First hand-holding at a Cubs game, Ryan in the row behind, silent but present. The stadium roar swallowed our nerves, ivy walls a green cathedral for this new normal. But peace was illusion, conflict simmered. Taylor dumped Ryan in October. Too much family drama, she said, leaving him gutted, crashing our dates unannounced. One night, over Thai takeout in Justin's kitchen, he snapped, this happy ending bullshit? It's fake. You're rubbing it in my face. Plates clattered. Justin's face hardened. We're not erasing you, son. This is us. All of us. I mediated, voice steady. We love you, but we love each other too. He stormed out, but texted apology by midnight. Sorry. Still processing. Justin's work intensified. A massive rehab on the Dan Ryan Expressway, nights blurring into dawn. He'd come home hollow-eyed, collapsing into bed where I'd trace his exhaustion. Worth it, I'd ask, massaging knots from his shoulders. For the city? Yeah. A pause. Kiss to my palm. For us? Always. Sex shifted, less frantic, more anchored. Lazy Sundays in sheets, exploring with the leisure of lovers unhurried. He'd wake me with coffee and quiet thrusts, murmuring poetry. Cummings, dog-eared on his nightstand. Anyone lived in a pretty how town, he'd quote, fingers interlacing ours. Yet betrayal's shadow lingered. Ryan started dating again, a guy, quietly, from his poli-sci class. We celebrated his coming out over beers at the local tavern, toasts clinking like fragile glass. "Proud of you," Justin said, voice thick. Ryan grinned, but later confided to me, scared shitless. "What if I end up like you too, loving the wrong people?" "You're not wrong," I countered. "Love's just complicated." Winter hit hard, blizzards burying the lakefront, forcing us inward. Christmas was milestone. Tree trimming with ornaments from Justin's childhood. Ryan stringing lights while Justin and I hung tinsel, our fingers tangling mid-air. Gifts exchanged. Practical for Ryan, new laptop. Sentimental for us, matching leather journals. Inscribed build together. Eve's dinner. Roast beef. Yorkshire pudding. Toasts to new chapters. But chapters twist. New Year's. House party small, friends vetted. No drama. Midnight countdown. Confetti popping. Justin pulled me onto the deck. Snowflakes melting on our lashes. "Marry me?" he whispered. Ring box velvet in his pocket, simple band. Tungsten etched with coordinates of that first sauna night. I froze, joy warring with fear. "Ryan." "He's in." Justin's smile crinkled eyes. Inside, Ryan hooped, hugging us sloppy. "About time, old man." Spring 2026 bloomed tentative hope. Graduation loomed for Ryan and me, his in business, mine in psych. Joint ceremony at Welsh Ryan Arena, caps airborne like confetti. Justin beamed from the stands. Alone now, his sister visited, but the seat beside him empty, a nod to mending. Post-ceremony brunch at and Sather's. Cinnamon rolls sticky sweet, mimosas fizzing. Ryan stood, glass raised. "To family. The one we're choosing." Eyes met, pain-scarred but softened. Later, walk along the lake. Gulls wheeling. Justin's arm around me. Ryan kicking stones. "We good?" he asked. "Good enough," Justin rumbled. But climax brewed in summer's heat. A callback to origins. Ryan's job landed in New York. Entry-level at Goldman. Ironic echo of his mom's escape. Going away party at the house. Deck strung with lights. Grill smoking ribs. Laughter flowed, but undercurrent pulled. Ryan's glances at Justin waited with unsaid. As embers died, guests gone, Ryan lingered by the fire pit. "One last thing." He handed Justin a box, small, wrapped in Cubs paper. Inside, the sauna key, on a chain. "Burn it if you want. Or keep it. Just remember why it hurts." Justin choked up, clasping his son. I joined, our embrace a knot against the night. Ryan pulled back, eyes clear. "I forgive you. Both." The words unlocked something. Tears, hugs, the lake whispering absolution. He left at dawn. U-Haul rumbling east, waving from the cab. Justin and I stood in the driveway, arms linked, watching taillights fade. "Empty nest," he said, voice wry. "Filled with us." I kissed him, salt of tears on lips. Betrayal's echo faded, but growth's price lingered. Justin proposed formally that fall on the pier. Ferris wheel spinning lazy, ring slipping on chilled finger. Wedding small, city hall. Ryan flying in as best man. Vows exchanged under autumn oaks. "In bridges and breaks," Justin said, and I laughed through tears. We rebuild. Years unspooled. Me in grad school at UChicago. Thesis on queer family dynamics. Justin consulting. Tiny home side hustle manifesting in a cabin getaway up north. Ryan thrived in Manhattan. Visits laced with boyfriends and stories. His own romances blooming messy then true. One anniversary. Back in the sauna rebuilt. No ghosts, we steamed slow. Hands familiar. Worth the speechless? Justin murmured. Towel slipping deliberate. Every word, I replied, pulling him close. Decade marker. 2035. Chicago still the city that builds and breaks. Skyline jagged with our histories. Ryan's wedding, to his architect husband, Eli, in a Brooklyn loft overlooking the East River, pulls us east, the prodigal family reunited. I stand best man, tux crisp, watching Ryan exchange rings under string lights, his grin echoing that first basement rager. Justin, beside me, squeezes my hand, subtle, but there whispering, look at him go. The reception hums, jazz trio, craft cocktails, toasts that skirt our scars but honor the healing. Ryan pulls us aside post-ceremony, Eli in tow, arms enveloping. Couldn't have this without you too. The messy blueprint, laughter bubbles, champagne fizzing like closure. Back in Chicago, life settles into rhythm. Justin's tiny homes dotting the Midwest, sustainable sanctuaries for queer kids aging out of foster care. A passion born from our wreckage, funded by his savings and my nonprofit grants. I counsel at a center in Boys Town, helping men navigate betrayals like ours, voices in my office echoing my own younger echoes. Ryan visits quarterly, Eli's blueprints mingling with Justin's over dinners of deep dish and debate. But humanism's core, we're flawed. Human. Arguments flare. Justin's stubborn streak clashing my overthink. Ryan's calls turning tense when work stresses him. One winter, post-blizzard, Ryan confesses over video. Eli's infertility. Adoption dreams dashed by bureaucracy. Feels like betrayal all over again, he admits, voice cracking. We fly out, huddle in their brownstone, sharing stories, Justin's divorce fears, my hiding years. Family isn't blood or easy, Justin says, arm around Ryan. It's showing up, broken as hell. They pursue fostering. A boy named Theo joining their chaos. Curly-haired firecracker who calls Justin Uncle Jay, and me the funny one. Aging creeps. Justin's hair silver full, knees creaking from old runs. My laugh lines deepening, glasses perched for reading. We travel Route 66 in a vintage RV, stopping at diners for pie and memories. In a New Mexico motel, under starry vault, he traces my compass. Still pointing true? Northwest. Always. Kiss slow. Body's familiar terrain. Climax's echo surfaces rare. Ryan's 40th. Lake house rental in Door County, Wisconsin. Bonfire crackles. S'mores sticky. Theo roasting marshmallows with Eli. Wine loosens tongues. Ryan raises glass. To the sauna. Sounds stupid, but it broke us open. Laughter ripples. Justin's hand finding mine across flames. Speechless still, I quip, and they roar. The past alchemized to gold. Ending isn't tidy, no boson by kitsch. Justin's heart scare in 42. Angioplasty under harsh lights. Me pacing ER halls like that first night. Ryan flies in. Vigil with coffee and crap jokes. He pulls through, grumbling from the bed. Not done building yet. Recovery bonds us tighter. Walks slow along the lake. Theo's small hand in mine. Stories swapped of near misses. Humanity's grace. In the ordinary. Mornings with Justin's coffee. Black and strong. Evenings with Ryan's calls. Theo's chatter. The sauna. Now guest retreat for visitors. Steam whispering forgiveness. One dawn. Lake mist rising. Justin and I on the deck. Mugs steaming. Regret? He asks. Eyes lake blue still. None. I lean into him. The American sprawl stretching endless. Suburbs to skyline. Heartland holding our hearts. Betrayal's scar fades. A faint line on resilient skin. Love, dramatic and deep, endures. Not speechless, but spoken, in every rebuilt bridge.